Have you ever wondered why some men can effortlessly capture a woman's heart while others struggle no matter how much they give? Love is not just about looks, gifts, or grand gestures. It's about understanding the deepest layers of female psychology. Women fall in love not because of what you say, but because of how you make them feel. In this video, I'll reveal 5 simple yet powerful tricks to make a woman feel deeply connected to you. Tricks that go beyond surface attraction and build emotional chemistry that lasts. So if you're ready to unlock the mystery of a woman's heart and become the man she can't stop thinking about, keep watching till the very end. Love isn't random. Women don't just fall in love because of physical appearance or financial status. They fall in love because of emotional resonance. The man who understands her mind, makes her feel safe, and sparks her curiosity will always stand out from the rest. Let's dive into 5 powerful tricks that will help you win her heart in a way that feels effortless and natural. A woman's heart opens to the man who makes her feel safe emotionally, not just physically. Safety isn't about money or status, it's about trust. When she knows she can express herself without judgment, she feels understood, valued, and protected. Most men chase approval, constantly seeking validation from women. But that's not attractive. Instead, remain calm, confident, and grounded in your own energy. Emotional safety is built through patience, deep listening, and showing that you are secure in yourself. When she feels that calm strength, she feels safe to fall in love. Women are naturally drawn to masculine energy. When you are centered, decisive, and unapologetically yourself, you pull her deeper into her feminine essence. This doesn't mean being controlling or aggressive. It means standing firm in your values, your goals, and your emotions. She will subconsciously feel magnetized to your strength because it gives her the space to feel soft, feminine, and cared for. The more she can rest in her femininity around you, the more she associates you with comfort and emotional fulfillment. And that's what makes her heart open. Every woman craves one thing more than anything else: to feel truly understood. Most men try to impress women with achievements or charm, but they forget the power of deep emotional connection. Ask her questions that go beyond small talk. Pay attention to the details she shares. Notice the way she feels, not just what she says. When you demonstrate that you genuinely see her, she begins to feel special around you. That emotional validation is something she will not easily forget, and it will make her gravitate toward you naturally. One of the biggest mistakes men make is giving too much of themselves too soon. Love grows in mystery. When you are an open book from day one, she loses curiosity, and curiosity is what makes love exciting. Keep a healthy balance between openness and mystery. Share parts of your story, but leave room for her to discover who you truly are over time. This keeps her engaged, intrigued, and wanting to learn more about you. Attraction is not built by constant availability. It's built by creating an emotional chase. Man with purpose is magnetic. When your life is driven by goals, passions, and self-respect, you naturally become more attractive. Women fall in love with men who inspire them, not men who seek constant validation. Instead of chasing her love, focus on becoming a man of depth, ambition, and emotional intelligence. When she sees that you are complete within yourself, her attraction intensifies because she realizes you're not seeking a relationship to feel whole. You're seeking a connection to share your wholeness. That's when she chooses you, not out of convenience, but out of deep admiration. Winning a woman's heart isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally attracts love. Emotional safety, masculine energy, deep understanding, mystery, and purpose are the keys that make her heart race and her soul feel drawn to you. When you embody these traits, she won't just like you, She will fall in love with you deeply and completely. If there is one thing every woman is unconsciously seeking in a man, it's a sense of emotional safety. This is not about how much money you make, how muscular you are, or how many compliments you can shower her with. Emotional safety is about creating a space where she feels seen, heard, and valued without judgment. It's about being the calm in her storm, the rock she can lean on when her emotions feel overwhelming. Yet most men completely misunderstand what emotional safety really means. They believe that constantly agreeing with a woman, over validating her feelings, or giving her everything she wants will make her feel safe and loved. But in reality, this behavior has the opposite effect. It doesn't make her feel safe. It makes her feel burdened, pressured, and even turned off. Women don't fall in love with men who are desperate for approval because desperation signals weakness. When you are constantly seeking validation from her, she feels like she's responsible for your emotional well being. That's exhausting for a woman, and it's not attractive. True emotional safety is built on your ability to regulate your emotions, hold your ground, and create a sense of stability within yourself first. You cannot expect her to feel safe with you if you are not safe within yourself. Think about it this way. A woman's feminine energy is naturally emotional, fluid, and ever changing. She can feel one way today and a completely different way tomorrow. This isn't a flaw, it's her nature. A man who becomes reactive, insecure, or overly emotional in response to her shifts only adds chaos to the relationship dynamic. What she needs is a man who can hold space for her emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. This doesn't mean you suppress your own emotions, but it does mean that you've built such emotional intelligence and self awareness that her storms don't shake your foundation. That is what makes a woman feel truly safe. Now, let's talk about why begging for approval destroys attraction and prevents emotional safety. When you are constantly looking to her for validation, you're essentially saying, my confidence depends on what you think of me. That is not leadership energy. That is not masculine energy. A woman wants to feel like she's with a man who knows his worth, regardless of whether she praises him or not. The man who can walk into a room and own his presence without needing applause is the man every woman feels drawn to because his energy communicates strength, stability, and self-respect. When you stop chasing approval, something powerful happens. You stop trying to impress her, and instead, you focus on being present with her. Presence is far more attractive than perfection. Women are deeply intuitive. They can feel when a man is truly connected to himself, when he's genuinely listening rather than waiting for an opportunity to say something impressive. Emotional safety begins with this kind of presence. When you are fully engaged in the moment, you make her feel like she's the only woman in the world without needing to flatter her excessively. Another crucial aspect of creating emotional safety is your ability to set boundaries, not just with her, but with yourself. A lot of men think that being endlessly accommodating will make a woman love them more. They say yes to everything, they bend over backward, and they think this will earn her loyalty. But women do not fall in love with men who lack boundaries. They respect men who know where they stand. Boundaries are attractive because they communicate self-respect. When you have standards for your life and relationships, you signal to her that you are not afraid to walk away from disrespect or toxicity. That confidence is deeply reassuring to a woman because it shows her you're not with her out of fear or desperation. You're with her because you choose her. Emotional safety also requires emotional intelligence. This means learning to understand and manage not only your emotions, but hers as well. When a woman feels emotional, she's not looking for you to fix her feelings. She's looking for you to hold space for them. This is where most men fail. They become defensive, dismissive, or try to solve everything, thinking that's what she needs. But what she really needs is for you to validate her emotions without judgment. Simply saying, I understand how you feel, or it makes sense why you'd feel that way, creates a sense of connection that logic and problem solving can never achieve. She feels emotionally safe when she knows she can be vulnerable without being criticized or rejected. Another powerful way to create emotional safety is to embody consistency. A man who is emotionally inconsistent, one day warm and attentive, the next cold and distant, creates anxiety in a woman. Women crave stability. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect or emotionless, but it does mean your energy should be steady. She should know that no matter what happens, your reaction will come from a place of grounded strength, not insecurity. This steadiness makes her trust you because she knows she won't be blindsided by emotional outbursts or mood swings. Now, let's address the role of self worth. A man who has cultivated deep self respect and purpose in his life naturally creates emotional safety because he doesn't look to a woman to define his value. When your sense of worth is independent of her approval, she feels a weight lifted off her shoulders. She doesn't feel pressured to constantly reassure you, and that makes her more open, loving, and feminine around you. Ironically, the less you seek her validation, the more she wants to give it to you. It's also important to understand that creating emotional safety is not about suppressing your masculinity. Many men mistakenly think they need to be overly gentle or passive to make a woman feel safe, but that's not true. Women feel safe with a man who is strong yet kind, assertive yet compassionate. Masculine energy, when healthy, is protective, not aggressive. It provides a sense of direction and leadership that makes a woman feel like she can relax and trust you. At its core, emotional safety is about this. She feels safe to be fully herself with you. She doesn't have to perform or pretend. She doesn't feel like she's walking on eggshells. She knows that even when she's emotional, upset, or vulnerable, you'll meet her with calm strength, empathy, and understanding. That's the energy that melts a woman's defenses and allows her to fall in love on a deep emotional level. So, if you want to create emotional safety without begging for approval, start with yourself. Develop self awareness, emotional intelligence, and unshakable confidence. Stand firm in your values. Listen more than you speak. Stop trying to impress her and focus on understanding her. Be consistent in your energy, clear in your boundaries, and strong in your sense of self. When a woman feels safe in your presence, she won't just love you, she will trust you, respect you, and feel drawn to you in a way that is almost impossible to put into words. If you want a woman to feel deeply connected to you, if you want her to naturally soften, trust you, and feel magnetized by your presence, then you must understand this truth. A woman's feminine energy is awakened and drawn out by a man who is grounded in his masculine frame. This is not about domination or control, it is about polarity. Masculine and feminine energy are magnetic opposites. Just like night and day, sun and moon, these energies complement each other, creating an irresistible attraction that makes her feel safe, desired, and deeply feminine. But here's where most men get it wrong. They confuse masculinity with aggression, arrogance, or coldness. Real masculinity isn't about intimidation, it's about inner strength, calm leadership, and unwavering confidence. A masculine man is not the loudest in the room, he is the most centered. His presence speaks louder than his words, and his energy makes a woman feel like she can finally exhale, relax, and embrace her softness. Women are naturally drawn to men who can hold their masculine frame because it allows them to fully express their femininity. A feminine woman doesn't want to compete with your energy. She wants to feel safe surrendering to it. When you are grounded in your masculine essence, you don't just attract her, You make her feel alive. She begins to crave your presence because your energy gives her permission to step into her most authentic self. Understanding masculine frame. Masculine frame is not about physical dominance, it's about emotional steadiness. It's the ability to remain calm under pressure, to lead with clarity, and to stay true to your values no matter what. Imagine yourself as a tree. The feminine is like the wind. She is emotional, ever changing, and flowing. If you are swayed by every gust of wind, she will feel unstable around you. But if you are deeply rooted, strong, and steady, she will feel safe. She will dance around you like the wind dances around the tree, but she will never doubt your strength. Your masculine frame is essentially your ability to regulate yourself in any situation. It's your emotional leadership. Women subconsciously test men, not because they are manipulative, but because they need to know if you are trustworthy. If your confidence collapses every time she expresses emotion or challenges you, she won't feel safe. But when you respond with calmness and empathy, when you hold your ground without aggression, she feels that she can trust you with her heart. That is the moment she starts to relax into her feminine energy. Why feminine energy responds to masculine polarity. A woman's feminine essence thrives when she feels supported by a strong masculine presence. Feminine energy is nurturing, emotional, intuitive, and free flowing. Masculine energy is focused, structured, and protective. When these energies meet in a healthy way, they create harmony. She feels safe to let go, to express herself, and to trust your guidance because she senses that you are deeply anchored in who you are. When a man steps out of his masculine frame, becoming overly emotional, clingy, or reactive, he unconsciously forces her to step into her masculine energy to compensate. This creates tension and disconnect because she no longer feels like she can relax around you. She doesn't want to be the one leading or holding everything together. She wants to feel like she can lean on you. By staying in your masculine energy, you naturally trigger her femininity. And this dynamic is what creates deep attraction and emotional intimacy. Most men make the mistake of believing that the fastest way to win a woman's heart is to give her everything about themselves up front. They think that by oversharing their feelings, constantly texting, being fully available, and putting all their cards on the table, they will make her feel secure and choose them. But what they fail to realize is that attraction doesn't grow in a space where everything is predictable and easily accessible. Attraction thrives in the unknown, in curiosity, and in the slow unraveling of your layers. When a woman feels like she already knows everything about you, when she senses that there's nothing left to discover, her excitement fades. What keeps her intrigued, engaged, and emotionally invested is the mystery you create by holding your ground, pacing the connection, and revealing yourself gradually. Women are emotional creatures, and part of the excitement they feel when falling in love is the thrill of discovery. She doesn't want a man who lays out his entire life story in one conversation or who is constantly available at her every call. She wants a man who has depth, a man whose life is full and purposeful, a man who carries himself with quiet confidence rather than desperation. When you reveal yourself too quickly, when you constantly flood her with attention, what you're telling her unconsciously is that you have no life outside of her, no self respect, and no emotional control. Instead of feeling secure, she feels pressure, and pressure suffocates attraction. A man who understands this dynamic knows that mystery is not a game, it is a reflection of self respect and emotional strength. Mystery is not about manipulation or playing hard to get. It's about pacing the connection so that she can appreciate every part of you as she uncovers it. A woman's attraction grows when she feels anticipation, when she's curious about who you are and what drives you. If you give her everything at once, your emotions, your vulnerabilities, your availability, you take away that sense of anticipation. The relationship starts to feel too predictable, too easy, and women do not fall in love with men who feel like an open book from the very beginning. They fall for men who challenge them, inspire them, and reveal themselves layer by layer, allowing her to feel like she's earning the privilege of knowing your depth. To create this magnetic mystery, you must have a life that exists beyond her. Women are drawn to men who are grounded in their purpose, men who are not waiting for a relationship to give them meaning. When you are deeply invested in your goals, passions, and personal growth, your energy shifts. You become more intriguing because she senses that you are not chasing her out of emptiness. You're inviting her into a life that is already full. That kind of man doesn't need to overshare or prove himself. His quiet confidence speaks for itself. This also means setting boundaries around your availability. If you are always texting her back immediately, always rearranging your schedule for her, and constantly seeking her validation, she will begin to lose respect for you. Women feel drawn to men who value their time, who are focused and disciplined, and who don't let their emotions dictate every decision. That doesn't mean you play cold or ignore her. It means you respond rather than react. It means you lead with intention instead of desperation. When a woman feels that you are not rushing to impress her or smother her with attention, she naturally becomes more curious. She begins to wonder about you, think about you, and invest more energy into winning your attention. That's the power of mystery. It flips the dynamic and makes her chase you, not because of manipulation, but because she feels your value. Mystery is also created by emotional composure. When she expresses herself emotionally, when she pulls back, or when she tests your confidence, your ability to remain calm and grounded makes her feel both safe and intrigued. A man who is emotionally reactive, who overshares his fears and insecurities without earning trust first, makes her feel like she's dealing with someone unstable. A man who is measured with his emotions, who opens up gradually as she earns his trust, creates a deeper bond because she feels like she has truly earned her place in his life. Emotional restraint doesn't mean you're cold or detached. It means you understand the value of pacing intimacy. A slow burn always creates a stronger, longer lasting connection than a fire that burns too quickly and fades out. Women are fascinated by men who maintain their individuality even in relationships. When she sees that you have a life outside of her, friends you value, passions you pursue, and a vision for your future, she becomes more invested. She knows she cannot take you for granted because you're not living solely for her approval. That independence is deeply attractive. Too many men lose themselves in relationships, abandoning their goals, their masculinity, and their sense of identity just to keep a woman happy. But this actually does the opposite. It kills her respect and desire. Mystery is about staying true to yourself while allowing her to slowly peel back the layers of your world. Another mistake men make is oversharing vulnerability too quickly. Vulnerability is beautiful and necessary for emotional intimacy, but when you expose everything about yourself in the early stages of dating, it doesn't feel like intimacy to her. It feels like a lack of boundaries. True vulnerability is earned over time. When you gradually share your struggles, fears, and dreams, it creates a stronger impact because she feels like she has earned your trust. This builds respect and emotional connection. Oversharing, on the other hand, often feels like emotional dumping, and it overwhelms her rather than draws her closer. There is also an art to communication that keeps a sense of intrigue alive. You don't need to announce everything you're doing or every detail of your day. Speak with intention. Let your words carry weight. When you talk less but with more depth, people naturally lean in, wanting to know more. Women are especially responsive to men who are measured with their words because it signals confidence and control. A man who doesn't feel the need to explain himself or overshare has an air of mystery that captivates her attention without effort. When a woman feels mystery in a relationship, she doesn't get bored. She feels alive, excited, and curious. She starts to imagine who you are beneath the surface, and that imagination fuels attraction. This is why mystery is not about playing games. It's about emotional pacing. It's about letting her invest in discovering who you truly are instead of giving her everything at once. When you overexpose yourself too soon, you rob her of the joy of discovery and attraction fades. Building mystery is ultimately about mastering yourself. It's about being so secure in who you are that you don't feel the need to overcompensate or overexplain. It's about living with purpose, staying disciplined, and carrying yourself with quiet confidence. When you operate from this space, you don't need to manipulate her interest. Your energy naturally draws her in. She feels that you are a man of depth, a man who cannot be fully understood at first glance, and that makes her want to know more. In the end, mystery is not about being distant or cold. It's about being intentional. It's about revealing yourself slowly, maintaining your individuality, and making her feel like earning your trust is a journey worth taking. Women don't fall for the man who is constantly available, predictable, and eager to please. They fall for the man who respects himself, who carries himself with quiet strength, and who allows attraction to build naturally through curiosity and emotional pacing. When you embody this energy, she won't just be interested, she'll be captivated because you'll be giving her something rare, a connection that deepens over time instead of burning out too soon.